And that's something that could have elevated this game so much, you know. And hopefully, I'm not gonna say hopefully because I don't have hope that they're gonna do this. Okay. I just think that's an amazing idea. I'm not gonna lie, this video is starting to get me mad because we could have a more similar version of Sparking Zero to this, what he's mentioning. And I wish we had if we had got that version of the game, and let's say the game came out in the state that it is now instead of the buggy damaged mess that it was back then, Sparking Zero could be the best Dragon Ball game ever made. What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Christian here again with another video, and today we got a video by Arm & Hammer here that I'm going to be reacting to because he just put out this content piece on offline content. And if you don't know, I've been trying to focus more on offline content because that is what's needed to actually help Sparking Zero right now. Okay, the sweats have been appeased. Okay, the patches have done a really good job to kind of put the game in a good playable state, in my opinion. And I think the patches should be minimal going forward, and we really need to focus on offline content, casual content, accessories, costumes, etc. We've mentioned it before, and Arm & Hammer put out this video right here on offline content that he would like to see moving forward. And he puts out good information, good content, so go subscribe to him and check his content out, okay? So let's get into it.
So when you get asked the question, hey, what do you think will make Dragon Ball Sparking Zero fun again? Right? The answer you'll get primarily is, well, the game needs is some offline content. Just a couple of single player modes, right? For the more casual players. Drid, like, nigga, we know Mission 100 needs to come back, but I'm saying, what do they get out of sitting here playing these offline modes? Oh, well, you got to sit back and have fun. No. So what people don't seem to understand about this new generation of gamers is they want to be rewarded for wasting their time, right? That's why games like Fortnite are so successful, because online or offline, no matter how stupid, dumb, or bullshit the mission is, there's always some sort of reward, probably something you want, that's always attached to the mission.
And let me say this, because a lot of people, whenever you say that, whenever you say, okay, where are the missions, collectibles, like rewards for playing the game, this is not a new thing, okay? This isn't something that started with Fortnite. I remember back when I was in my college days, when Halo 4 came out, they had a system where they would implement missions created by the devs, and they would do it maybe like weekly or so, and you would get rewards for completing those missions. So this is not a new Fortnite thing. That was before Fortnite, okay? That was years ago. So the mission system where there's collectibles attached to missions and stuff like that is not new, guys, okay? So that whole argument of like, oh, well, this is not a live service game. You don't have to be a live service game to support your game with content nowadays, okay? It doesn't have to be anything too crazy, but just a little bit of support would go a long way, okay?
Of offline content that I think needs to come to Sparking Zero is missions. And before I go further into this topic, yes, I know this game is not Fortnite. You can't land at a certain location, right? You can't do this. You can't do that. We can think more Tenkaichi, you know what I'm saying? And I actually think that a feature that was introduced in this game by the developers could help a lot with that, you know what I mean? And that is custom battles. Right, so what I think the devs should do is they should make their own custom battles, missions.
I know exactly what people are going to say. They're going to say, Christian or Hammer, this is not a live service game, bro. This is not a live service game. They shouldn't be making content weekly, but bro, you can make a custom battle in a day. A regular player can make a custom battle in a day. You're telling me a whole dev team, you can't dedicate like 3 or 4 people to make 4 missions a week, every week, and just rotate the employees out. Just have some people making custom battles that come out weekly and then attach rewards to those. For example, Legendary Warrior Face Off. Like, that mode is not that fun, guys. It's very repetitive. The AI is not even good. But at least if there was some rewards behind it, I've mentioned it before, if there was at least one costume at the end of beating the advanced mode a couple times, I would do it. I would interact with the mode to get the costume. And that's the thing that they're not doing right now. They're not providing enough incentive for us to really, interact with those modes that are kind of lackluster.
Because people seem to forget that DLC is not the only way that you can add content through a game.
You know, thinking back, I think the devs thought that custom battles was gonna be a bigger deal than what it is. I think they kind of put the responsibility of providing offline modes onto the player base. They thought, okay, the player base can handle the offline content so that we can focus on just DLC and laying the groundwork for, online game modes. But the problem is the custom battle menus and the content that was provided towards custom battles is kind of lackluster and hard to use because I attempted to create a custom battle and I just gave up after like 20-30 minutes of me just going through menus. So the tools that they gave us to create offline content through the custom battle, they're just not efficient enough. That's the reality.
Games like, hey, if you want to unlock this, go here, do these missions. And these aren't just some rinky dinky ass missions. You actually gonna get something for sitting down and completing that mission, right? For example, let's just say the devs put together like a mission or a custom battle, right? They'll throw you onto the hell map, you get Goku and Vegeta on your team, and the mission says, destroy Janemba. If you just beat Janemba with Goku and Vegeta, you get like a Halo accessory for Vegeta because you didn't destroy Janemba, you just defeated him. However, you run that shit back, you fuse into Z Gogeta, and you hit Soul Punisher on Janemba, you just destroyed him. So guess what you get? You get to unlock the Hell Map. You know what I'm saying? You got Gohan and Goten on the team, and your opponent is Broly, and they say, use the power of family to destroy Broly. Devs could even rig it with some crazy cinematic where Goku comes down and you hit the famo on him, you know what I mean? And from completing this mission, not only do you get the family Kamehameha ult, but you also get the second coming Broly skin. Both of these items you can go flex online because guess what? You grinded the offline.
See, all of this is good. They're good ideas. The problem is this is stuff that should have been implemented on release because if they're gonna make new content, let's say new ults, maps and stuff, they're gonna want to get paid for it. They're not just gonna make the hell map and just put it in the game as a free update. I don't see that happening. And even though I love this idea, I think it's a great idea, right? Like I always thought that was the proper way to unlock things is through interacting with the game. You don't just get it for free. So I love the idea of, okay, there's a custom battle made by the devs on the hell map. If you want the hell map, you need to go beat that episode, right? Beat Janemba with Gogeta in a specific way, you get a specific costume. I think that's a super dope idea. And it's not a new idea, guys. Games have been doing this since the 90s. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, people have shifted more towards monetization past the sale. And because of that, they usually just give it to you after you just pay for it. You know what I mean? Because it just makes them more money. So even though I love this idea, I don't see this happening, honestly.
Bad. Stand against Broly for 2 minutes with Videl. Oh, you already know this shit gonna be hell. You got one health bar. Yeah, it's gonna suck. This mission's gonna fucking suck. But guess what? They attached that second coming Videl skin to it. Guess what? You gonna do that mission, bruh. Or they can make unlockables through other features.
Bro, and another thing, where is the Fusion Reborn Videl Saiyaman costume? Like that costume will be dope as hell for Videl. And I don't think the devs thought Videl was gonna be a popular character. But bro, Videl was so overplayed when the game came out. It would have been really great to have an alternate costume so we're not stuck seeing the same Videl over and over. I think they underestimated how overplayed those low DP characters would be.
That they maybe 5-10 missions with different unlockables each patch. Right? Content creators, they can make that shit work, nigga.
It's just gonna be hard to implement because, like I said, a lot of that stuff should have been implemented from release, right? So like if you have more costumes that are pretty expensive in the shop, then you have to grind Zenny to get those, right? So then you would have to complete the missions. But what are they gonna do? Are they gonna implement the missions and constantly provide content as rewards for those missions weekly? I feel like that's too much on the dev team at that point because okay, so every week or every month you're coming out with new missions. That means you need to make new accessories, new costumes, and that's a lot of resources to make. And I think that's just unrealistic in my opinion. I mean, it sounds good. I would like for that to happen. I just don't see that happening. You know what I mean? What would have been better is if you have really expensive items in the shop from the get-go and you implement missions from the get go so that you get Zenny when you log in, you get Zenny when you complete the missions, and then you are grinding towards this costume that you really want and that's super expensive so that everyone doesn't have it. You know, only the players who grinded for it will get it. You know?
Showcasing it online. We got like 10 different items to do that with, nigga. We set for a month, nigga. Fuck, and then we wait for the next patch, or we wait for the next big DLC character to drop, bruh. Come on now, easy as pie. Now, when we talk
Easy as pie.
unlockables,
I don't know if it's that. I'm not gonna say it's easy, bro. Like it's not that easy, but it is definitely achievable. And you know, Bandai has a lot of resources. There's no excuse to not support this game.
yeah, I'm talking about skins. Yeah, I'm talking about maps, but let's be for real. On this channel, I think we've rambled on about skins and maps long enough. Like, we already know what skins and maps need to be in at this point. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, we know Bojack and Bounce skins need to come in. We know them Second Coming skins need to come in. We know them Sab Jackets need to come in. Like, we already know. Same with maps. We already know. Hell, Glacier, Space, Kami's Lookout. You know what I'm saying? We already know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Let me say this, and some people might be mad about me saying this, but honestly, the only way I see this game kind of like getting saved, I guess, is like an expansion. Like I don't know, like I'm old enough to know what an expansion is, but you remember like the old online games, you would have the base game, right, with the base amount of stuff, and then they would come out with the expansion, which is not a sequel, it's just a comprehensive addition to the base game, right? With a lot of new content, a lot of new modes, a lot of new accessories, new equipment, etc. Like an expansion would be great for this game because you could revamp a lot of these characters. For example, you could bring in new ults, new supers for these characters, new costumes, all under an expansion, right? And you would have to pay a lot for an expansion though, guys. You would have to pay, I don't know, $20, $30 for an expansion. If they bring an expansion to Sparking Zero, right? And let's say every character gets 2 3 costumes, every character gets new supers. They bring in, for example, team ultimates for DP battle under an expansion, and it costs like $20 $30. I would pay for that. Now, of course, I'm older, I have the money. Like $20 $30 is not a lot of money for me. It might be for a lot of the player base, but I think that would justify the cost, honestly. A $20 $30 expansion with costumes, you know, game mechanics like team ultimates and stuff like that. Like I would pay for that. And of course maps. Of course maps. But that's the only way I see this game kind of being revived. It's a comprehensive expansion to Sparking Zero where you get the maps, you get the costumes, you get the game mechanics, you get everything under that umbrella, and it costs $20 $30 so that they can make money doing it. I would probably, you know, spend the money on that, I'll say.
Utilized is unlockable skills. You know what I mean? Now, when we talk like swapping out supers, unlocking skills, etc., this is a feature that hasn't necessarily been used since Raging Blast 2, right? You got accessories that can switch out a character's moveset. You even got costumes that can change out a character's moveset. Like we saw Goku with the power pole. Like this concept is damn near already in the game. So I'm gonna name a couple of moves that I think should have been in the game, but they weren't. Either they weren't or they just haven't.
I'm gonna give the devs a little bit of bail, because if we think about it, right, we have 200 something plus characters. If they were to remove a couple characters to give extra movesets to other characters, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to have less characters and have the characters that are there have more customization options, or would you prefer having just a more, you know, a bigger cast? Like I'm asking you, Hammer, like, right? So you know, they had to work on all these characters, and there's a lot of characters. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I gotta give them some bail on that. So they have to prioritize. Okay, do we add more characters, or do we just work on the characters that we already have? Right. This maybe make a smaller cast with a more diverse move set, or just expand the cast more and more and more. Right. Which would you have preferred? Like, would you have preferred to have, for example, Bergamo missing from the game? You know, like those the fat character from Super, whatever her name is. Like, would you prefer them remove those characters and just give, for example, Krillin more moves, or Videl more costumes, or Goku more moves, right? Like, I want you to answer that question because I've thought about that too. It's like, Maybe if they would have just like not made the cast so big, they could have added more content to more characters, you know?
Been used in a long time. You know what I mean? Starting with Meteor combination, right? We gotta start off with the classics. You feel me? So Meteor combination. It was in BT3. It was in Raging Blast 2. It was in Kakarot. God damn it. But for some reason, they didn't put it in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. On top of that, somebody else did. So it's like, how, bruh? Literally fucking how, man. But like I said, this is an issue that could easily be fixed. Like, just patch it into the game through an update or something. Obviously make us unlock it, right? If we talking a mission, throw me into the ring with Piccolo as early Goku. Make that nigga go giant, because they can do that.
And they can do that, guys. They can do that. He's 100% correct.
And swap out movesets depending on the situation. They did it in the story mode with...
And in the story mode, they had Trunks from Super with a melee moveset as well, which I would like to have. I wish you could switch that out. You know?
Yeah, they can swap that shit out depending on the situation. For the next move, they actually haven't used this attack since the first Budokai game, and it kind of surprised me because this move is actually one of Vegeta's most flashy moves in the anime, and I am talking about the final crash, right? And I know a lot of y'all are asking, well, what the fuck is the final crash? It's the move that he did on Raccoon when they saw their scouters start blasting up past 30,000, right? Where
dude, that fight is super underrated. One of the best fights in Dragon Ball.
He slammed him on the ground. Nigga picked this nigga up. He spun him, threw him, and while Raccoon was hurling towards the mountain, that nigga charged up a nice-looking two-handed energy blast, and he blasted that nigga to hell, bruh. Or at least that's what we thought, right?
And I just want to add to that, right? So this is because Vegeta lost his tail on Earth, right? But there's no Namek version of Vegeta that you can pick, and an easy way to fix that is, right, like you said, you could change the costume and change the moveset. So I could go Earth Saiyan Vegeta and have the ability to go ape and have, you know, the ults from that saga, right? And you could give me this version of Vegeta, the Namek version. By me changing the costume, I lose the transformation because he doesn't have a tail. And then you add this ult, and this ult could do more damage than his old ult, right? And you could change his skill as well, because I believe he doesn't have a sparking mode. So give me the Namek version of Saiyan Vegeta, let's say early Vegeta, right? And just remove his transformation and change his skill out. I think he has a buff. Get rid of the buff and put a sparking mode on this character. And that's one way that you can kind of like not add characters, but you add more versions of the character, right? By changing the costume, removing the tail, removing the transformation, but increasing his other skills. Now it's like you're adding variety and customization to this character, right? You get to pick between the Namek Saga Vegeta or the Saiyan Saga Vegeta. And that's something that could have elevated this game so much, you know? And hopefully, I'm not going to say hopefully because I don't have hope that they're going to do this, okay? I just think that's an amazing idea. Okay.
Add this move into the game. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all are wondering, oh, well, when we gonna get the Krillin? Don't worry, man. We gonna get the Krillin before y'all niggas start tweaking. In Dragon Ball Super, there was a move that Krillin did on Gohan. It was when Gohan...
I'm not gonna lie, this video is starting to get me mad because we could have a more similar version of Sparking Zero to this, what he's mentioning. And I wish we had, if we had got that version of the game, and let's say the game came out in the state that it is now, instead of the buggy, damaged mess that it was back then, Sparking Zero could be the best Dragon Ball game ever made.
You know said, fuck you, nigga. You too weak to be in the Tournament of Power. He was like, oh yeah? I bet. Hit you with this 100 times solar flare. Boy, I was ready to main Krillin, bruh. I thought they was gonna add this move into the game, but they didn't. You know what I mean? Now, if we talking more flashy skills, more flashy ultimate attacks, we can talk about Spirit Bomb Super Saiyan, right? That's the move that Goku used to kill Android 13. You know what I'm saying? Nigga made the Spirit Bomb, he absorbed it into his body, went Super Saiyan, exploded with aura, and then one punched that nigga into oblivion, bruh. Now, if they ever add this move, we gonna have to do some crazy shit to unlock it. I'm talking spawn me into the game with shirtless Goku against Fusion 13. I got 1 HP and I gotta fight that nigga 4 health bars all the way down to 1, and I get the
Bro, if they dropped a trailer, okay, imagine this trailer comes out, Glacier map, okay, you have mid Goku with an alternate move set alternate skill set you've never seen because it's a different costume, right? This is the 13 movie version of Goku. He transforms into Super Saiyan, or let's say no, he charges up the Spirit Bomb. He does this move instead of his traditional Spirit Bomb. Bro, I'm on board, bro. I'm on board. I would make a video right then and there. Yo, Bandai fucking cooked with this shit, bro.
finish him with this move and unlock it. I don't give a fuck. Like, this move is way too flashy.
Cause bro, that was the hardest fucking ending to a Dragon Ball movie, probably from all the movies, bro. It's probably the best ultimate move in a movie. You know, better than the fucking Gogeta Soul Crusher.
It acquired easily, so fuck all that easy shit, bruh. Make me unlock this move. This shit would be so satisfying to land online, bruh. I'm not even gonna cap. But if y'all like my idea,
like, bro, we've never seen Goku like this ever again, bro. If they drop this ultimate, I'm telling you, in a trailer, let's say, like my idea from the expansion, let's say they come out with an expansion, they show this ultimate off, bro, I'm buying it day one. I don't care, bro. 20, 30, you can make it $40.
bro,
I'm buying it, bro.
Other skills that they could add to this game down in the comment section, more specifically the newer ones, bruh. Now, before I end off this video, there's actually one more idea that I wanted to put out to you guys, and y'all can let me know your opinions on it down in the comment section. So there's a form, a Goku form, that niggas have been wanting to come back for a hot minute now. It never made it into Tenkaichi, but for the most part, it's a forgotten form. They don't use it anymore, right? And that is none other than false Super Saiyan Goku. Quick story on false Super Saiyan. So false Super Saiyan is what Super Saiyan was supposed to look like at first, right? But when Toriyama was making the manga and the Frieza art came around, he was like, nah, I want to make it blonde. But the movie was already made. They had to produce it, etc., etc. So later on, the form just ended up getting scrapped. So how I was thinking this form would work is it could essentially work not as a form, but as more of a skill that can function as a form. Right now, hear me out. Right? This form can be activated under 3 conditions. 1, 25% health. 2, you can only use it 1 time. Hit or miss, you can only hit the input once. So obviously the first thing he does in the movie when he unlocks this form is he counters, he parries, right? He grabs Slug's hand as he tries to punch him. So how I was thinking this move could work could be essentially the same thing as a counter. Activate the counter, Goku parries the attack, he powers up, immediately goes into sparking mode. He crushes the opponent's hand as a reward for, you know, getting the parry off, and he throws them back into neutral, right? So while he's in sparking mode, all of his other moves are grayed out. Hear me out. All of his other skills, his other moves are grayed out. And the only move that he has available to land is the ultimate. You threw them back into neutral, you have until sparking runs out to land this ult, bruh. And you'll be in the form too. You'll be technically playing as full Super Saiyan Goku. Now, once you land that shit, ooh boy. Is it gonna kill them instantly? I don't know about that, but it can be used as like a sort of comeback mechanic. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie, that's a little complicated. But I do like the idea of making false Super Saiyan a kind of like a skill instead of a transformation. because it's not actually a transformation. He didn't complete the transformation, right? So what I would do is I would put it on base Goku, the 4 DP version. So either you put it on the 4 DP version of Goku or you put it on mid Goku. Okay. If you put it on mid Goku, then you get rid of his Super Saiyan transformation. That means okay, you can't transform into Super Saiyan with that character, with that costume, right? But you get this skill, false Super Saiyan. And it's a sparking mode that's activated with a cutscene, meaning it's guaranteed. And before you say, Christian, that's so broken. That's so broken. What the hell? It's like, bro, calm down. First of all, let's calm down. Okay. We have Bardock. He has a shockwave of rebellion. It's basically a guaranteed sparking mode, but he is not broken because he's only 4 DP. So if you put it on a 5 DP or a 4 DP character, it's not gonna break the game that it's a cutscene charge up into sparking mode. Okay, so maybe we put it on the 4 DP version, cost 5 skill points. You gotta max out your skill points, and if you have max skill points, you could do False Super Saiyan with a skill. It's a cutscene, and he charges up into False Super Saiyan, and just like he mentioned, so it grays out your supers, just like he said, and you only have the ultimate available, and the ultimate is some sort of flashy move that does a lot of damage. So it is a comeback mechanic for the 4 DP version of Goku. Okay, I think that's a great idea. In fact, man, I'm telling you, bro, your videos starting to get me mad because there's a lot of good ideas in here that could have been implemented. But of course, the devs only have so much time, only so much resources, and like I said, they provided a lot of characters on release, and these things are things that need to be developed on release or with an expansion, right? So
This bitch or not, the form is gonna run out either way. So yeah, it's lore accurate, it's fun, and it's not broken. That was just a little cool idea for me to throw out there. I know it sounds complicated, but it's really not. But those were just my ideas for potential offline content for the game. Anyways, y'all, that's the video. Like I
But yeah, that's the video, guys. And as you saw, he provided a lot of good ideas. Yeah, man. Like missions, 100%. That would have been a great addition to this game. Like I said, more content for you to grind towards, more reasons to build Zenny, right? So if we could do missions for Zenny and have some really good content, hidden behind a high cost so that we can continue to grind Zenny to get these costumes or costumes that are hidden behind, episodes that the devs provide and stuff like that. All of that would have helped this mode out or this game out. More interesting skills. I've said it before, but DLC characters come out very generic with generic skills. Like, look at how interesting that skill that he mentioned was, the Fall Super Saiyan skill. It's a counter that puts you in sparking mode, stuff like that. New stuff we've never seen before. Stop putting generic wild sense on characters. Stop putting just generic buffs on characters, especially DLC characters that we have to pay for. That's some bullshit, and that needs to stop. But let me know what you think. Put down in the comments if you liked his ideas or my ideas, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.